What's a sign someone definitely wasn't raised right? Littering. I had a friend in school that would litter and say, well, there's already litter everywhere, so what does it matter? Pissed me off. I had a friend who threw trash in the woods when we went for a walk. I refused to drive him home until he got it. We sat for about an hour in the hot heat, both being stubborn. He eventually went and picked it up. We are no longer friends. When they're unable to admit they are wrong or made a mistake. This is definitely a result of not being raised right, and being castrated punished for being honest. Being punished for being honest was a thing in my household. I became a liar until I knew it was safe to be honest about my mistakes. Same. As a kid I was yelled at, insulted, told I was worthless, a failure, and spanked, slapped, and thrown around for my mistakes. Almost every mistake at every age resulted in some form of verbal or physical punishment. Then I discovered I didn't get hit or told that I was a mistake if I just lied and said I didn't know what happened or hid it from my parents. If they find out in an hour or in 6 months, I'll still be punished, but it won't be right now, and it won't be any worse than usual. Plus there's the chance I won't get caught. When I was a teen, my mother loathed how I would lie to her and my dad, but they taught me this was the best way to deal with them. I couldn't tell them I spilled something, lost something, got a C on my report card, etc. without a severe punishment, so why ever tell the truth and admit to tiny mistakes when I would get attacked for it? Took a long time for me to learn who I could and couldn't be honest with. Unprovoked violence. Honestly, all violence except some cases of self-defense. If someone randomly starts shouting and swearing whatever at you, reacting with violence is provoked, but not necessary. Unprovoked is the key part. Self-defense is not part of that. They don't realize what's normal in a relationship, because they assume the relationship their parents had was normal. It's a powerful thing, realizing that your model for relationships is screwed up. It makes you question and second-guess yourself, wondering if what you're doing is normal. It's why so many guys think that sex workers and/or strippers really love them. A massive amount of people don't love their kids, or gender roles, especially as boys are taught in early childhood by their parent, enforced that love is a transactional reality. You don't deserve love. Asking for love, or wanting a return of love put forth, is no better than being a bum. You earn love, or your labor earns it. If you get nothing out of the love you put forth, well, life's not fair. Man up. Not treating customer service staff well. When I was about 15 or 16, my auntie took me, my 2 siblings and her 2 kids out to an all-you-can-eat Chinese buffet. Her oldest, who was about 13, maybe threw some food, I wanna say shrimp or some kind of seafood, untouched, on the floor. I went to pick it up because what a fact? She grabbed me by the arm, looked me dead in my eyes and said, "You don't have to do that, that's what these people are here for," and gestured at the server lady who was watching the whole thing. I looked at the server horrified. I snatched my arm out of her grip, and my sister and brother cleaned it anyway. Her mom said nothing. We stopped hanging out with them. Talk and act with no respect or consideration for other people. The mentality of, I'll do what is best for me, and how you feel or react to it isn't my problem, it's a you problem. I think they call it being honest and no bullshit. I don't know where people get the idea that being difficult and uncompromising is a sign of individuality. Making fun of someone for something they can't control. I always thought making fun of people is just 100% insecurity. For sure, people love to project. 0 civic-mindedness. It costs $0 to throw your litter in the bin, refrain from parking in disabled bays, return your card after use, stand and wait in line, and the list goes on. If you can't even teach your kid which side of an escalator to stand on, you probably didn't teach your kid much else. I'm constantly telling my kids, be considerate, watch where you're walking, be aware of others, like loudly, and I'm sure other people are like, shut up lady, your kids suck. I'm always trying to instill just simple self-awareness of others. Always saying thank you and please, say sorry if you bump into someone. I do my best to control them, but I also recognize they won't learn unless they're actually doing it. But then I feel self-conscious because lately the world is so anti-children. And it's like, yeah, I want my kids to behave, but they also have to learn for themselves how to behave in public and at restaurants or movie theaters. You know, Anyway, it drives me nuts when adults have zero sense of kindness. No acknowledgement, no kindness, just simple things you know? That stuff is so important to me. They expect never to be uncomfortable. Discomfort of any kind is a frightening or foreign concept to them. Oof, this is a bad one and major parental failure. Best learn about disappointment and failure at home when the stakes are low than when you get out in the world and get the fucking smackdown. Never take any accountability for their actions. Constantly lying. Casually lying. Overly attached to gold trim and appliances. Making trades but refusing to keep their part of the bargain or pay as agreed. Gold trim and appliances. This seems oddly specific. I've noticed my Arabic in-laws hoard gold-rimmed stuff the same way my poor but look rich cousins did. The difference is my Arabic in-laws can afford it, and will smack you if you have bad manners. Entitlement. This, thinking the world owes them and getting upset when met with resistance. These people also think they can do no wrong. When things go belly up, the fault must lie elsewhere. Especially when one parent also has a similar mentality, tells you where it came from. Lack of manners, courtesy, and empathy coupled with selfishness. They lack empathy and kindness. Don't forget crossing boundaries, refusing to communicate your needs, emotionally abusing someone or outright abusing them, and villainizing the other person for reacting to the abuse. There isn't a sign. Some people are raised poorly, but are lovely people. Some are raised well and end up scum, and everything in between. We aren't carbon copies of one ideal. Humans are nuanced. Narcissism. This is learned behavior from a parent that had a personality disorder. Or their own. May not be upbringing. May just be shitty neurobiology. Someone who won't even listen to someone who has a different opinion, just immediately yells and says they're wrong and not even try to see it from a different perspective. Usually someone who lacks empathy as well. Stealing. I was friend with a girl at 19 to 20. She was an only child. Her parents had both good wages and provided all she needed. She would steal just because she had the opportunity to do so, a bike left with its keys on it, when we left a party, or an iPhone that a drunk person lost. I was so mad at her. Why do you need to steal that instead of just be good to these strangers? For fuck's sake. When the happiness of the person is making fun of others. They think you can just eat all the food in the cupboard without replacing it themselves. Goddamn rich pieces of shit thinking the food comes from the sky. I feel like it's somewhat an unpopular opinion, but if people aren't able to emotionally disconnect from their parents' home to a degree where they get severely hindered in fully living their own life, for example some distance to get a suitable job, etc., in the end it's the job of parents to enable the children to become functioning adults. But if they constantly depends on the parents, they never become independent. Zero respect for others' time. Not holding open a door for the person right behind you. People who feel the need to comment on others' appearance. They're anxious that you'll abandon them, or will suddenly hate them one day without explanation. What this indicates to me is that you have been abandoned in the past either emotionally or literally. That doesn't make you bad. But it does mean that you're struggling, and I hope that you can live a fulfilling life in spite of whoever hurt you. Whether that be your parental figure or somebody else that caused you to have abandonment issues. Along those lines too, this is a sign, not a definite tell. What this tells me is that someone hurt you, which could be your parents. When they enjoy killing animals. Hunting is a ton of fun and is a great hobby. They wear this particular orange face paint whenever they appear on TV. In candid photos, they're pale as a ghost. Per treatment of animals or using pets as accessories and not family members. This, how a person treats animals, says a tremendous amount about them as a person. Most people learn this behavior from their parents, or whatever adults raised them. I've met a lot of people who clearly love their pets, but somehow also treat them as an afterthought. They don't want to make any compromises to make their pets comfortable, because it's just an animal. If someone refers to any living thing as just something, they were not taught to truly value and respect other living beings. Can't say please and thank you. Always interrupt someone when the person is speaking. Does not respect when someone wants to be alone. No respect for others in general. They don't offer to clean up at the end of a party. Not paying people back when they offer to split the bill, like purposely avoiding it. They believe women are less than men in every way, and treat women as such. They believe women shouldn't work, or do anything without a man's permission. They believe women should receive consequences for disobedience, and that a woman has no right to discuss her problems with them, or else it's just the woman trying to start shit. They believe women's opinions are fake and rooted in false ideas, while men's opinions are facts. They believe women should do as they are told without question. They believe women are born evil, and men have to put them in their place. Congratulations if you made it this far. Welcome to my 29-year-old serial cheating ex who joined an incel cult the last 1 year of our 5-year relationship when he started hitting me and telling me my place as a woman, all with the backing of his mommy and daddy. He was in fact raised to be a racist, sexist, and abusive asshole. What's a sign someone definitely wasn't raised right? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one.